We're going live with Janet. Yeah, who is also in the vegan health bundle, and she's gonna tell us how to stay plant powered when traveling. I'm gonna pin a comment here and wait for her to come on. Hello, Sandy. Hello, Roxanne. And if you guys have any questions, put it in the question box. That's actually a question box. Yeah. All right. Janet's here. She's asking to happens. I've accepted her request.
Here I am.
Okay. Hi, Janet.
Hi.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
Great. I can see you.
what,
Perfect.
what a day, huh? I was hearing you where you schedule too many lives and you've got so much you've got to do. You're such a busy gal.
Yeah, I completely forgot. I looked at the calendar and I thought like, oh, I'm only doing one with Samantha, so I could do one with you. And then I completely forgot I was supposed to do another two on my own. So, uh, yeah, here we are. Oh,
Well, I,
nice.
I, I expedited my travel meals so that if you need to go, you can go. I already fixed them and I'm just going to show them because I've been making travel meals all through the week because I'm going on a tour on Saturday. So
Right. So when you make these travel meals, are you so you make it in advance and then
no,
is it,
not typically.
oh, okay.
So we're on the bicycle, and when we're riding it into the town, we always find out where the grocery store is, and we
Mm-hmm.
ride by the grocery store so we can stop and we
Yeah.
look and see what's at the store.
Okay.
And based on what we still got in our bicycle bags, we come up with okay, we're going to have a soup. Steven still eats cooked, and I eat raw, just like you and
Us.
Mr.
Yeah, Mr.
Yeah,
Jazz guitarist. Yeah.
yes, Mr. Jazz Guitarist. And so we carry a 0.6 liter rice cooker for Steven.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
it's got this little container, and I just kind of eye it, and I'll put in a chunk of onion, some garlic, a chunk of zucchini, a chunk of carrot, a chunk of potato,
Mm-hmm.
a chunk of kale, or maybe a kale leaf. Break it up, and I'll just make him a soup, and fill it with water. Add some of the no salt seasonings that we bring along with us, and it makes him a wonderful soup.
Oh,
And then
nice.
yeah, we'll toss a ear of corn in the microwave for him, and then we have fresh fruit, and it makes a nice nutritious meal for him after we've been riding. We usually ride between 40 and 60 miles in a day on our pedal assist bikes. And then what I do is I'll start with a base of kale, and I'll build a salad, and I'll use some of the vegetable that I've put in his soup raw in my salad. Um, but I I've been using the bundle all week to
Mm-hmm.
come up with easy to make recipes that usually I'll carry a cutting board, a knife, a peeler, a grater, a portable, little handheld spiralizer,
Mm-hmm.
and a juicing mechanism that's just plastic that it helps me juice the lime or the lemon.
Ah,
And
okay.
yeah, so I made one thing that I could make in my room is pico de gallo. So
Ah,
there's a pico de gallo. This was an Elsbeth's cookbook, and it's just tomato and cilantro and garlic
yeah.
and onion, and so that's what I would grab at the store. And especially, well, this tour coming up on Saturday is in Death Valley, and it's going to be what we call a hub and spoke tour.
Mm-hmm.
And that means we stay in one Airbnb, and
Mm.
we'll ride out from it like spokes on a wheel.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And we just switched in the last 2 days because we were going to go to the Santa Rosa area in Northern California, but the weather's the same as here. So
Oh, okay.
why drive 800 miles to ride in the exact same stuff that we're living in
Yeah.
here? So So Death Valley, I've never been to. I'm so excited to go to Death Valley, and it's in the 70s. It's not rainy. You know, it's high desert, so it'll be cool, but not as cold as it is here, and not cold and wet are really hard
Uh,
in the winter.
sorry, where are you right now?
Seattle area,
Oh yeah, yeah,
the
you mentioned
Northwest.
Seattle. Yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't been to Seattle yet. I do have a friend who's in Seattle though. Yeah.
Have, have you done Vancouver?
Uh, no. You're talking about
No.
Vancouver, US, right? Oh, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter whether it's Vancouver, US or Vancouver, Canada. I haven't, so no.
Oh, no, 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 you're right. No, it's Vancouver, Canada. Vancouver, US is south of me, but
Oh, okay.
Vancouver, BC
Um,
is north. And that's what I
I,
meant.
I've only been to Edmonton. In Canada, that's the only place I've been to.
That,
That was Edmonton,
that's a
yeah.
cool old town, isn't it?
Um,
Yeah.
I was supposed to go to Canada in 2020 and visit Crystal Dawn Culinary, but I couldn't get my visa in time. Yeah, I couldn't get
Uh,
my Canadian visa in time. Yeah, so because I don't know why I was told that it was quite easy and simple to get it, but when I filled up all the forms and all that, they were like, you can only get it after this date, and I needed my passport with me because I needed to get my US visa as well. So,
mhm.
and my US trip was more important than the Canada trip. So yeah, I had to cancel that. So I haven't been
Yeah.
to Canada. And then our last trip in US last year, we were in so many cities in the US. I didn't even want to try to add on Canada as well to the itinerary. Yeah.
It's crazy when you try to add on too much because then you're like, well, where were we 3 days ago?
Yeah, yeah. I think
It
we were
goes
like
so fast.
11 cities
Oh,
in 5 weeks or something. It was a bit crazy, but we wanted to meet up with like all the friends that I made over, yeah, over the lockdowns and all that. I made friends with so many people online, like, even like Lisa and Nate and Misfit Vegan and Rochelle Carla and all that. So I wanted to meet them in person rather than just saying like, oh, one day we'll meet, and then we never meet. And Kathy as well. So
mhm.
it was a good trip. We like I really got to meet up with so many vegan people, and then a lot of my followers, not a lot lah, but I met up with some of my followers as well, and I met up with some people who bought my ebooks and my courses. C Cummings, she organized the Raw Food Worldwide meetup. No, not Raw Food Worldwide. She organized a raw food meetup for me. So yeah, that was really cool. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Yeah. This one is Nicole Fogelman. It's just
Ah,
it's apple and fennel. I love fennel.
oh,
And
nice, nice.
there's a manganese on it. But if I was in a hotel room, I would just use some lemon or lime
Yeah.
with fennel. Oh,
Uh,
probably lime. I would. That would just really bring it out.
Yeah, the thing is, fennel in Malaysia is a bit expensive. I, I, I guess maybe
Um,
they don't grow it here that much. I can get it, but it's quite expensive. So I've gotten it like once or twice to try out some recipes. And I love the aroma. Yeah, I
me
love the
too.
aroma of fennel. But yeah, it's just harder, more expensive to get it over here. I guess it's just
Trader
not.
Joe's is selling two big fennel bulbs for $2.99.
Okay, okay.
So, oh,
Yeah.
there's Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer. See if
Hey,
you
Jennifer.
and Jennifer met yet?
Yeah,
You're going to be with her.
we're going live tomorrow.
Ah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I haven't tried her recipe yet, but maybe tomorrow. I'm hoping tomorrow afternoon or lunch, or I can try one of her smoothie recipes in her
Mhm.
ebook. Yeah.
I made her cookies yesterday, but I did a raw version.
Oh,
She or
okay.
she they're balls. They're oatmeal balls.
So do you
They just
dehydrate them instead of baking
baking them.
them?
Yeah.
What other adaptations do you do to make it raw?
I use sprouted oats, and
Mm-hmm.
they're not steamed past 118 degrees. And actually, she blends a cup, and I don't blend any of it. I use all just regular oats
Ah,
because
okay.
anymore when I've been off flour now for 5 years,
Right, right,
and
right.
it's too dry for me now. I'd rather have the less processed oat.
Yeah.
And then I didn't have any date sugar, so I just blended some dates and made date
Ah,
paste. So I used
okay.
date paste instead of date sugar.
Okay.
And um and then I I formed them into balls. I just dropped them with a little ice cream scoop, like the quarter cup ice cream scoop, and stuck
Yeah.
them in the dehydrator until they got firm on top, and then flipped them and dehydrated them for
Right.
longer. So probably a couple of hours on each side,
Couple of
and
hours on
they
each
came
side.
out pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah.
How see at one point, and I think even until now, oh yeah, maybe because I'm not using sprouted oats. I'm just using like I can't get sprouted oats over here in
Mhm.
Malaysia, so I will use just the normal roll oats. But I find that I can't take too much of that. Yeah, if
No.
it's just in small amounts, I can. But if not, like I can't digest it very well.
hmm
Yeah, so yeah, but maybe
And
because you're using sprouted, so that's
and I just
better.
have one, and they're just little
Yeah,
for the
yeah, yeah. So if I have one,
yeah
I'm fine. But it's not like
yeah
I can have five or something.
no no. And if I still want
Yeah.
something, I'll just have an apple or a grapefruit or something. And so I just wanted to try them. I'm just trying all that. I don't really usually typically have oats in the morning. I just do fruit or smoothie.
Right,
But it's just
right.
just for the bundle. Oh, Jennifer's
Mm.
sending us all those hearts. Thanks,
I
Jennifer.
was I was wondering though because I do see your stories on how you make your salads,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And you've seen my salads. So my salads are like huge, they're gigantic. Uh, Yours is slightly smaller than mine. So I'm wondering like, do you still get because if I eat just that amount, I think I'll get hungry. So do you get hungry as
I
well?
can't eat as much. Yeah,
Oh,
I just
okay.
you know I have a full smoothie in the morning, and I put it into five 16-ounce glasses,
Mm-hmm.
and I just drink I do that to slow myself down a little bit because otherwise I just slurp the whole thing down.
Ah,
And
okay.
I'm also going to do a hike in May. I'm going to hike the Southwest Coastal Path
Right,
in England.
right.
Have you
Oh,
heard of that? In the
no.
Cornwall district?
Oh, okay.
And we're going to be out for 35 days. So I'm building up hiking. So I hike right now. I'm doing 6 or 7 miles a day,
Mm-hmm.
and then I work out. And I haven't been bicycling because it's just been so cold and wet. But
Mm,
next week we'll be riding 40, 50 miles a day. And we'll also be hiking because there's a couple days that are going to be pretty cold there. So I can always hike no matter how cold it is, but riding is tougher because the wind hitting you and you're not
yeah.
moving your hands and feet, so they get really cold. And whereas when you're walking, everything warms up.
Mm,
So
okay.
so yeah,
Right.
I can't. I mean, I used to say I was a volume eater, but anymore I can't do it.
Well, as long as you
So
don't get hungry, because I think when I first went raw, that was one of my first complaints. Like I'm always hungry, but uh, it was only much later I realized like, oh, I'm just not eating enough. That's why I'm hungry all the time.
well,
You
and
know.
now with Lissa's wraps and with the sprouted beans, I eat the sprouted chickpeas. In fact, this I made her chickpea. Did I bring that out? I made Lissa's chickpea mash with the
Mm,
sprouted chickpeas. Boy, that is
ah,
so good. And I think it's more satiating for me. And
yeah.
I've been going raw on and off for the last 2, 3 years, and my body is definitely adjusting to being
Mm,
raw. It really resonates with me.
yeah.
I really enjoy it.
You
So,
travel with more stuff than me. I basically so I used to travel with a blender and and
uh,
then my cutting board and my knife and all that. But and then I just got like lazy and tired. I realized like I don't even need to make my green smoothies in the morning. Like for whenever I travel, I just eat bananas and lettuce so that I don't even need
wow.
to yeah. So
Do you
so I
think you
do
could
that.
ride 40, 50 miles on a bicycle if you ate that?
Uh, I'm not sure. I don't
Oh,
ride
okay.
bicycles, so I
Yeah.
wouldn't know. Yeah.
Or
And then
something
from
comparable to that.
I are you asking that because are you asking it is it because will I get hungry or are you sorry I don't understand the question like will I
Yeah,
be able to ride?
that well, because we're kind of comparing notes, and if I could get away with just eating lettuce and bananas and be able to ride and sustain that, that'd be great.
Oh, I think I need to eat like at least 5 large bananas, and the lettuce I eat about, I don't know how much is it in ounces, but it's 150 grams of lettuce. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You may need to eat more bananas though if you're going to be riding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's
How active are
about,
you?
I'm not super active. I mean, I do go to, like, you do see me in the park like 3 times a week, but
Mhm.
I'm not doing okay right now because I had some problems with my heel. I was experiencing heel plate pain. So I'm seeing a physiotherapist and she's given me this whole set of exercises that I need to do. So when I go to the park, I'm like doing the exercises. So that really takes up all my time to, yeah,
But you were
yeah.
saying you do that when you travel.
Sorry?
Were you saying that that's what you do when you
Uh,
travel? You just eat lettuce and bananas?
yeah, I mean, but even when I go to the park, so okay, so this is
Oh.
what I do in on days when I'm not going to the park, then I will make my green smoothie bowl, which is
Mhm.
basically the same thing about like, 5 bananas, 1 orange, 1 cup of water, maybe some superfood powders, like spirulina, chlorella,
Yeah.
a bit of like 1 tablespoon of flax seeds or chia seeds. That's what I do, but I only eat at 10 in the morning because I'm doing intermittent fasting. And then after that, by about 1 p.m., I have my lunch, and that's my big salad. And then by 4 p.m., by 4, I'll be hungry, so I'll eat some fruit. And
Mhm.
then at 5:30, I have my dinner, which is more fruit. Yeah. So that's what I usually do. When I'm traveling there, I don't make the smoothie bowl. I just have my bananas and my lettuce. And then I usually eat out for lunch because when I'm traveling, I actually want to experience the food of the
The
city I'm in
cuisine.
and all that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So have that. And then for dinner, I'll just have fruit again. So
Mhm.
I thought what was really convenient for me when I was in the US because Whole Foods has that whole box of 1 pound box of spring mix,
Uh,
uh, which
huh?
which is all, all it's already triple washed and all that. So I would just always go to Whole Foods and just buy that 1 pound of greens
Yeah.
and eat that. As because sometimes I'll make my salads if I'm like tired of eating out, or then I use that for my salads.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in Malaysia, um, the pre-packed salad greens are very expensive. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to
Um,
do that. Whereas I think in Costco and Whole Foods, it was much more affordable.
mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So yeah, but I'm not like because okay, I used to run, but this was many years ago. Too many years ago. This
Mhm.
was like in 2008 to 2012. I wasn't vegan then. So I was like running half marathons and all that. So I remember I would get very hungry. I'll be hungry.
Mhm.
And then I remember like when I want to go and eat, I will ask you know, when I go out and buy food and all that, I always tell them to give me extra rice, and they'll be so confused because usually when they scoop out the rice for ladies, they always give less. And I'm like, no, 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 give me more because I'm really hungry. Yeah. So that was when I was running, because I was running and swimming and hiking and all that. But now because I had so many injuries. I had like knee injuries, ankle injuries, hamstring injuries.
Yeah.
So so that's why I stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now and then last year I had I think I had a ligament injury here as well. And then my physiotherapist told me I couldn't go hiking, only because she said medically you can, but she didn't want me to go hiking. She was very afraid that I will fall and
Well,
re-injure myself
yeah.
again. So she's like, no, you can't. I kept asking her like every 2 weeks, can I go hiking now? Okay. Yeah. So
Mhm.
I started going, but then after that, now I have this, yeah. I think we started again. She said I could start hiking in July, but then in August I started getting heel pain. Sorry, it wasn't even last year, it was this year. Was it? Oh, I'm getting all mixed up now. It was last year. Yeah, so now I'm having heel pain. So that's why I'm not like super active. I just kind of like walk around I go for my morning walks, and then I do my exercises, and I go to the park. But it's just a very it's a stroll. It's
Uh,
not like a not brisk walking. So yeah. Yeah.
well, I notice a difference if I'm not as active, which is rare because I just love to get out and move. So, especially with working on the computer, I can work for so long and then I've just got to get up, get away from the computer. And
Yeah.
so it's just so nice to just go out and walk. Of course,
Yeah.
then I'll get out on my phone to talk, say hi to everybody. But um,
Yeah.
yeah. And usually, I mean, a lot of what I thought you might say is when you travel, you walk. I mean, a lot of times if we're just walking, if we're not with the bikes, we'll walk 10, 15
Mm.
miles in a day,
Yeah.
just sightseeing and
Yeah.
just getting from place to place. Yeah.
I think that was the thing. I was in New York and I walked too much because
Oh.
that's where the heel pain came in.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll do
Yeah.
it. And then it's
Yeah.
tough to get rid of.
Yeah.
Boy, easy to get, but tough to get rid of. Yeah.
Yeah. You want to talk a little bit about your ebook or your travel challenge and what is it all about?
Well, I get so many people saying how they do fine at home, and then when they
Mm.
go to travel, it all falls apart, and then they can't get back on track again. And I just feel
Mm.
so bad for them. And I thought, how do we tilt that on its side? How do we? Because we're so conditioned to think of, at least here in the States, that when you go on a vacation, you treat yourself, and the way
Mm.
you treat yourself is you go to a restaurant and you get
Yeah.
served and you
Yep.
and you order fun things. And I
Yep.
mean, now knowing better, it's not a treat at all. I mean, you're making yourself sick.
Yeah.
And so it's okay, how in order to really be able to affect a change, you got to be able to change that subconscious conditioning that you've grown up with all your life. I mean, I remember way back, little kids, as soon as we were in the car going on a trip, we'd say, "Where are the peanuts?" I mean, it just food was so much, and junk food, to just be blunt about it, was so
Mm.
much a part of it. When we'd stop for lunch, then we could order hamburgers and French fries, and it was just totally different for us. And it wasn't until I changed my mind about it and realized that I wasn't treating myself. I wasn't enjoying it. I felt terrible afterwards. I would put on weight. I would go on a trip and come back and I wouldn't be able to fit in my pants anymore because I'd put on too much weight on the trip because I was getting it all in because knowing I'd have to go on a diet when I got back, and then I'd get back and I wouldn't go on the diet. And now I love eating this way. I would so much rather eat this way. And I can go on a trip and I don't gain a pound. I'll eat even cleaner. I eat very simply when I'm on a bike because I don't have access to my Vitamix or my NutriBullet. I can take
Mm.
it with me this weekend because I've got going to have the van.
Yeah.
But when we're fully contained, which is my favorite way to ride, we've got all our bikes on the bag and we have to carry everything in those
Mm.
bags on our bike. And we have to every night, get them into the hotel room, and we're moving them around. We have to find things in them. And so you don't want to stuff them and pack them full of stuff to where you can't find anything. So um, that that's when I started thinking about what I wanted to do for the bundle. I was thinking about offering some help with travel because I so enjoy it, and that's what I try to show when I go on a bike trip is how I'll be fully loaded on the bike and I'll stay 100% fully raw. Going into national parks where we went up not last summer but the summer before that, we spent 30 days up in Canada and went through Waterton National Park and Banff and Jasper National Park. And there were times when I'd be 3 days where I'd have to pack enough food to cover me because we were going into the park and there wasn't anything in there. Although when I'd get into the park, sometimes I would find a little tiny grocery store with a little produce section. And it's amazing what I could find there to sustain me. So I
So
just
can
was
you
hoping.
give a specific example of like you said you were there like 3 days in the park. So what exactly is it that you eat for all your meals during those
So
three
then
days?
I'll figure out how many meals I have, and then
Mm.
I'll pack enough produce in my
Okay.
bags
Yeah,
to
so
take
like
with me. So like
what is the
carrots and
produce?
carrots and English cucumber, and because I'll have a
Okay.
refrigerator.
Ah,
If I don't have a
okay.
refrigerator, then it's got to be cabbage and broccoli, but
Right.
sturdy vegetables that'll last me, and fruit, lots of
Right.
fruit,
What
bananas,
kind?
oranges, apples,
Mm,
mangoes, kiwis, anything that I think will last. Bananas aren't great on travel, but if we're in the park, staying in the same place, then I can leave the bananas in the room. And
yeah.
so the one that I take, I better eat because they'll get beat up pretty
Yeah.
easily on the bike.
Yeah.
But they're so good that, you know, I'll I'll still take them. And it's a kale lasts really well without
Mm,
refrigeration.
okay.
And
All right.
I'll get a little bottle of balsamic vinegar
Mhm.
or apple cider vinegar or whatever I can find. Um, um, what else? Well, now I'm realizing, like with the chickpeas, that I
Yeah.
could actually get raw chickpeas or or lentils or dried lentils and sprout them
Mm,
because they're ready
mm,
within 3 days. So
yeah.
that's something I'm gonna think about this year and see if I can't do that on a trip.
Yeah.
Um,
Sometimes I travel with my sprouting jars so that I can sprout my mung beans. But sometimes I get lazy. I know
yeah,
there was one trip I think I brought my jars all the way to Japan for 2 weeks, and then I was too lazy to sprout because I could just buy sprouts from the grocery store. So I thought like, oh, it was easier. I just bought, yeah. Yeah,
you
Japan
never
was
know what
really interesting.
you're gonna find.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
brought sprouts. I got yeah, and then they had like mix. They had all the salad mixes as well in their convenience stores as well, and it was very very fresh. I think the turnover was like really high, so it was so fresh. Like they had like all these cruciferous salads and all that. So I got all that, and yeah, I would just like eat that because it was so much easier as well. Yeah.
well, remember in the Waterton Park, we were there for 3 days, and so by the third day, I was pretty. I needed food, but I had noticed the produce in the store because I check those things out right away when I get there. So I didn't worry about it. So I
Mm,
went into the
mm,
store and thought, okay, I've got to make something here. And it's fun because you first look and you think, oh, there's nothing here. But the longer I looked, I realized, wow, there was a bag of coleslaw. So
mm.
I got that bag of coleslaw, and that was my base. And then they had tomato. I grabbed a tomato. They had an English cucumber, which I
Yeah.
didn't spot at first. I thought, oh wow, a whole English
Oh,
cucumber. And then there were oranges and mandarins. I got one of each of those, and there were
right.
apples. I got one of those, and I just built a salad out of fruits and
Uh,
vegetables, and it was enough to get me to the next place, which had a grocery store where I could get whatever I wanted. But it's
okay,
amazing
nice.
what you can do.
Nice.
Yeah.
I have a question about the microwave though, because I know a lot of people in this whole food plant-based community they use the microwave, but I don't use my micro. I used to have a microwave a long time ago. I gave it away. Um, I don't know because I'm just like, don't you think it has radiation and all that? And I mean I've spoken to a few people and yeah, in fact one of my students she was a I don't know how to pronounce it. Was it Kini? Anyway, she was trying to explain to me like in her work, in her line of work, because she helps people with their health and muscles and all that. And she says like yeah, she doesn't recommend the microwave. Yeah, but I
Or
know in this
or
community a lot of people use it. So
or a cell phone or a computer or being anywhere near the charging. I mean, we've got electromyograph, EMG rays
EMFs.
coming at us from all directions. Yeah. My husband does use the microwave. I don't because I'm raw, but
Right, right, right.
I don't know if he just figures we're all going to have radiation
Because
because of,
I thought it was oh, okay. So I met this person, and he told me that um, he microwaves his food, but when he's in the room, no, he turns it on, then he runs out of the kitchen.
mhm.
So and then when it stops, then he comes back in. Then I'm like, but you're already gonna put your food in the microwave, right? So whatever things that you're worried about, if you're running away from the kitchen, you come back and then you take your food, isn't it? Whatever dangers is shouldn't it be already in the food itself? So I, I,
I
I
would
was
think
quite
so.
confused.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he he actually told me, he said, oh, I can feel it, when it's on. So I also run away. Then I was like, then why are you using it if you can feel it? I was a bit
Do you
confused.
turn your internet off at night?
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I've got
yeah,
a
yeah.
timer that turns it off.
Yeah.
'Cause Steven's a late night guy. He goes to bed around 11:30, and I go to bed around 8, between 8 and 10. And then I get
Right,
up
right.
between 5. Well, I get up around 5, and he doesn't get up till around 8. So I get the house up in the morning, and he puts the house to bed at night. It's really, we
Right,
complement each other perfectly. And
right.
so I don't want to turn it off when I go to bed because he's still using it. So I just leave it on for him. And
Right.
I, I get in the habit of charging things not in the bedroom,
Yeah.
and then I slip back and I start because I'll be doing something in bed, which you're not supposed to
Yeah,
do. But
I
I
don't charge it in
mean,
the bedroom either.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's really smart.
Yeah.
It's scary
Yeah.
because you can't see it, you can't feel it. I mean, I can't feel it. I don't know if your friend can, um, but yeah, they say that essentially all microwaves leak.
Yeah. That's the
Yeah,
thing. So
yeah.
anyway, I mean, I always wanted to ask people that, but I mean, I think what people do is they always quote Michael Greger, and Dr. Michael Greger says it's okay. So yeah.
I know, but he also says coffee's okay, and I'm sorry, but I disagree.
Yeah,
He,
I disagree as well. I remember going for this. I was at some event and this lady offered me coffee, and I said, no, I don't drink coffee. And she's like, why not? And I was like, oh my God, I live in such a different bubble because I never have to explain to people like why I don't want to drink coffee. I'm like, I thought everyone knows it's not healthy. So, but she's like, why not? She couldn't comprehend, and I was just like, no, I'm not my thing. It's not healthy. It's acidic. No, yeah. So
and some of the people, some of the experts say it is healthy, and so you're right. You can't even argue because they say there's proof that coffee's healthy for you. It's got, I don't know if it's polyproteins or what it is, but because I used to drink it. I used to be hooked on it,
mm,
and I love being off coffee. When I went
mm-hmm.
plant exclusive, it started to taste bitter to me. It was actually pretty easy to get off it. So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. I'm going to do the Alaska cruise, the holistic holiday at sea,
Oh,
and he's
okay.
going to be on the boat. So, I mean, you got to take what you like and leave the rest with all these people. There's so much, isn't there? So much difference of opinions,
Mm,
even amongst everybody.
mm,
Nobody could agree on anything except
mm.
except get off processed food. That's the one thing that meat eaters, vegetable eaters, we're all seeing that processed food is not a good way to go, that's a start anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's not even food.
Yeah. No,
I don't consider it food at all. So
I
yeah.
know. No wonder I was so heavy. My body had no clue what to do with that
Yeah.
processed food, and I ate a lot of it. So it just stores it.
Right.
Just
Yeah. Yeah.
stores it in your
Yeah.
tissues. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Jenna, it was fun talking to you. Thank you so much for sharing with us, about how you travel and continue to stay plant powered. If everyone who's watching, the Vegan Health Bundle is taking place right now until the 10th of March. Janet has her Plant Powered Travel Challenge ebook. I have my raw vegan Korean barbecue online course, and there's also like 80 other ebooks and courses and video lectures in the Vegan Health Bundle this year. It's only 49 US dollars for digital resources worth 5,000, almost 5,600 US dollars. So it's actually a very good deal. I've gone through like almost every one of the ebooks and courses. So if you're interested in getting it, get it in the link in either of our bios. And if anybody's watching the replay and if you have any questions, leave it in the comments below and we'll answer them. Yeah. So have a good evening to everyone or good morning wherever you are. Thanks, Janet, and I'll see you another time. Bye.
Thank you. Thanks, Chef Yin.
You're welcome. Bye bye.
Yeah. We didn't talk about Korean barbecue, darn it.
No, we didn't, but it doesn't matter.